Richter characters must accept you. Do it. I dare you.
I'll do you one better, actually. Hotline Miami is a top-down shooter, but who cares about that? We want to know if they're shooting more than lead. Yes, this is in fact the tiers. We have Sex Haver and Virgin. Before you say it in the comments, yes, this is the peak of Hotline Miami content. Anyways, on to what's actually important here. Starting with the man himself, Jacket, there are two things I have to note. First, we have no canonical face model for him, so I'm kinda just going off vibes. Second, and on a semi-related note, I don't think his face being hidden is an issue for our judgment, as a lot of people enjoy looking at the body more than the face anyways. I mean, look, Ghost from Call of Duty, Kong from the same game, Pyramid Head of Silent Hill, Sniper Man of High Rise Invasion. Hell, I've even seen people say hear me out to goddamn mannequins in suits. Some may say their standards are low, but I'm not here to judge. On top of that, Jacket is jacked, as previously stated, and seems to be a pretty decent guy as long as you're not Russian. He also has had at least 2 partners that we know of, and he doesn't strike me as the wait until marriage type. The worst crime he commits in a game of brutal murder? Premarital sex. On to the next playable character, Biker. Look, he likes to party. According to the NLM, there's about a 30% increase in risk of sex while intoxicated. This type performed on a myriad of substances. Not to mention, Biker is a pretty boy. Oh, well, okay, maybe not his actual endgame model, but let's be honest, none of these guys are that appealing with the current graphics. Some may say it's unreliable to use fan art for these things, but come on, you're watching a sex tier list video for fictional characters. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. He also has the muscles and the whole motorcyclist thing going on for him, so I'm saying yes, it's pretty probable. Following the order of my Hotline Miami 2 video, Martin Brown. I'ma be honest, I don't see it. Disrespectfully, look at this guy. As the TikTok build would say, full stink aura complete with flies and cartoon stink lines. To be fair, he's an actor, so maybe. The film industry isn't exactly the most pure field, as about 21% of actors say they've been forced to do a sexual act. Given his track record though, Martin seems to get his rocks off at murder and not sexual intercourse. And no, we're not going to talk about that scene from Midnight Animal, mostly because it's for a film and therefore doesn't count to this list. The hater part of me wants to say no, so that's what he gets. That, and getting shot. Next, the fans. I'm covering them as a whole because they seem to have similar experiences, and also it's just easier for me. They're all outspoken about their hate for parties and most people, and on top of that, they seem like a group of young adults who only recently got out of the military, so the only chance I see of them getting with anyone is during high school or that military stretch. According to a paper on sex in the military, assuming the fans were just in the army as they don't seem experienced enough to be Marines, about 19% of the army does hookups with multiple partners. Why multiple? Because finding actual percentages on this subject other than just a simple, yeah, of course a bunch of young adults have sex, doesn't matter where they are, is rather difficult. While I'm on the subject of sex in the military, there is also a huge problem of people in the military non-consensually assaulting their fellow soldiers. Like, a lot. Do I think the fans would do this? No. Therefore I won't be adding any more to their percentage. On to high school, the only study I could find that seemed reliable only went as far back as 1991, and then the sex rate in high school was about 54%. So altogether, each fan had about a 73% chance of having sex before the events of the game. And that's more than passing, so I'm throwing them up there. Richter, the rat man himself. Spoilers? I don't think so. This isn't me hating on the man. Blame his mother. Based off what she says, Richter is a loner. Despite being successful in the physical department, he doesn't really seem to care much for relationships other than a caring one for his sick mother. And Richter having some random one-night stand doesn't sound fitting or conclusive either. Virgin rat. Jake. Fuck you, you fat ass. Get out of my sight. If I ever see you again, I'll leave you worse off than the Russians did, you virgin. If I see any of you sympathizing in the comments, I'm banning you immediately. The Russians, on the other hand, are no doubt sex havers. I mean, come on, look at the henchman's hot bald head. And let's not forget, the son is literally sitting next to a girl with her titties out. Put him away, I don't want to get demonetized. But seriously, henchman has a girlfriend and they seem to have a pretty decent relationship until she takes his money and leaves. And the son enjoys parties like Biker, and lots of drugs. I don't doubt that they've lost their V card. Beard. I don't know, man. The fact he's a Marine and in the Special Forces means his sex percent is up to 24% rather than 19% of the Army, but still, it's not a ton. But just because I can, I'll throw him up with the rest of the Chads, and because placing him remotely close to Jake feels like hate. Evan. Evan? I could kiss you right now. I've spent the whole video speculating, but this man literally has a child. 2 of them, actually. If biology has taught me anything, you need 2 people to do that. And he has a wife? S tier. Pardo, I'ma be honest, I've seen so many people lust over you that I think, if anything, you might be the one in danger. I'm concerned, but more so, it's highly likely. You see, Pardo is a psychopath, and psychopathy affects sex like it does literally everything else in a relationship. Someone like Pardo would be manipulative, impulsive, and lack empathy for their partner. That paired with poor behavioral control means that the man is a walking red flag, and also may be a victim to impulsive and unsafe sex. Wow, can you believe it? Can you believe I've managed to milk a game series that hasn't gotten an installment in 10 years? Take all this with a huge grain of salt, by the way. I have no idea what the hell I'm saying, but you can look at all the articles I've referenced in the description. On top of that, I'd like to apologize for uploads being once a month now because I got